Okay. Ugh. See, 1, 2, 3, and then again. Put it like over your head. So now we're going to do a little harder. You ready for this?
Go for it.
Right.
Ouch.
Yeah.
Basically with this. Alright, let's see your knuckles. Oh shit. Alright, whenever you're ready, hit stop. Okay, I'll...
How do we stop it?
I'll take care of it. Here you go.
Thank you. Oh my.
Take that into consideration, you know what I mean? I also will close this right now by saying that if you've gotten this far in this video, I have a saying about giving a rat's ass that's kind of funny. That how can you give a rat's ass? The ass of the rat isn't yours to give, so let the rat keep his ass. Or you can pick up a rat in tandem to somebody else's ass first, and yes, you're giving a rat's ass. And if the other person wants to accept the rat ass first, to give a rat's ass, you're sort of offering up the rat's ass, and it's up to the other person if he wants to accept. So I'll have another saying too, that in some certain things that if a rat's ass should really be offered or even given about a particular subject. What you got to do is walk around with a cocky look on your face and not give a fuck about some of these people. And that's why I have my rule, you know, live and let live, but don't force it down my throat. And my saying for that is when a rat's ass should be offered or given. You can't really give a rat's ass because the ass of the rat is not really, the ass of this rodent isn't really yours to give. It belongs to that rodent, you know what I mean? So let that rat keep his ass, you know. But yet, they can't dictate to you when a rat's ass should even be offered or given. And so if the rat's ass being offered up means you're willing to play ball with him a little bit and you know, tolerate something, you know, and try to reason things out, you know, and tolerate them and play the game. That's called offering up the rat's ass. And you're doing him a favor by offering up the rat's ass. You don't have to give a rat's ass, you know. Yeah, so it's all about presentation. You know, when the rat's ass should be offered or given, you know. Alright, guys, what's up? I'm going to do another video here. This video is actually for particular people because I keep wanting to make this particular video, but geez, for the longest time, but the dynamics of it keep changing on how I want to present it, and different ideas keep changing, but at the same time, you know, there's some stuff, well, what do you even fucking need to say if it is too long and dragged out, not to the point. But I would, this particular place, you know, because, well, I also regularly run into particular people, or even at a particular times, you know, say when I do charity work on the holidays. So I say this to people, and this is a thing to be fair, and it's a very, if I wouldn't even go and make a video and direct it and title it to put it out there publicly where people would come back, where it would come back at me, so to speak, if it's not for good reasons. So in saying that, and this first would be to, like I says, I still have friends in place, but as anybody that's the grudge holders or haters or people that you used to be somewhat friends with or now not, and even the ones that were sent to stalk my Facebook and call me delusional for the things that I do, that I said that I should have had the right to do, or stuff I agreed to not do anymore, but people changed it. And people that even did good things, but somebody put them up to stalking, taking the trouble. I wasn't talking to anybody. I put it public on Facebook, and all of a sudden somebody watching, I guess, put up to stalk my Facebook instead of saying something fair, embarrass me, and try to embarrass me in front of all the Facebook friends that don't give a shit, but and say, oh, you're delusional, which that's very dirty, you know. And oh, and that also reminds me too, you know, also saying that, you know, like an issue, doing something on bare concrete or whatever, or bare hands, even if it isn't in that place, making an issue of being unsanitary. Oh yeah, and that's also a thing too, that what I wanted to get at too, you know, I'm against, you don't have to be a woman and wear makeup and have fancy yoga clothes like on the videos, which wonderful people I learned from, but that's another story, which is I'm getting at too. One of my main points here is too that for those all the people that do that shit and the somewhat haters and grudge holders, this message is for you particularly. If it's any fucking consolation to you, what I tell everybody that I met outside, that I know, I mean everybody that I run into that are still there or used to be there outside of there where I'm at, what I actually tell them some good things. And which is one good thing that I actually, if it's any fucking consolation to you, say it's even newsworthy in a good way, even deserves, oh yeah, that's just it. This is a thing that I can hate you somewhat, but not totally committedly hate you, but it's like, and acknowledge they're still good. That's what you got to do if you want to regard yourself as even as crazy as I am. If you want to regard yourself as some kind of person of God and claim that a God would punish somebody or bring a curse upon somebody who would want to verbally try to harm me, you know, even. Okay, yeah. Anyway, get to the thing without rattling on beliefs. The thing that should be nationally recognized, even and newsworthy, is more women working at the place than I've ever seen, half the place being women, which, that's rare. And I even said over there that there are radical feminists can't bitch, but, you know, I mentioned it, unless you've seen YouTube, there are radical feminists out there, radical ones that you have to watch YouTube to even know these people exist, like Anita Sarkeesian, just attacking damn near everything, even the female characters in your video games, saying everything is rape culture and everything is all men are bad and all men are, Jesus, you'd have to follow that, you know. But yeah, so anyway, there are a lot of those issues. Some people at some of them workplaces, they're too busy playing their games on the phones during lunch to even notice that shit, and I do. But anyway, that's just one of the reasons why too, along with little snarky innuendos, you know, the bare knuckle push-up thing. And yes, I'll probably even give you footage from that place, that I'm not ashamed of, and from another place when I worked at Ardex, of me actually pulling money out and paying somebody to hold the camera for me, which that's a whole other story, not to tell you, go on and on about this, but I told some people on there, as opposed to making money on YouTube, every once in a while make money, do Patreon, do if you guys are familiar with that, do a GoFundMe, and whether it's for exercise channels, which nothing wrong with, there's wonderful people if I had it, the ones that I got something else on, if I had it, I'd give them a little bit, but I don't believe in it. I'd rather be an asshole on there, like me or not, you know, I don't have to act a particular way to get you to give me fucking money, and and that's another thing too, which I had to do a little, you know, jumping subjects here, which, a little good publicity stunt, which was, you know, tearing up a measly little check, which is the same fucking reason, because, yes, I swear, like, just like you do, it's, and all that shit too, but I actually believe in charity and everything else, and I take it very seriously about showing people and waving the cameras and doing extra things and putting things in, so that rather than being accused of stealing and being and having my haters that are jealous of me just because I got relatives that were screwed their life up with drugs, that pray that mantra, you know, hoping that their will to be true. He's a crackhead, he's a crackhead, he's a crackhead, you know, and disprove my liars and haters. So braving the elements and being out there and for a good charity is a spiritual ordeal, and a spiritual holiday for me is like a thing that needs to be done. And you know, that's a thing I have to do in front of people, because I'm involved in a charity, and if people you work with see you tear up some measly little check and not grubbing for every little money, even if you're a little bit broken, you, so to speak, might need it a little bit. I told some of my friends, both black and white, I says, since trust is very important, you may need to do that, you know, and go in front of people so nobody accuses you of stealing, whether you're of another color, if they're out to try to say, oh, he's a thief because of his color, or because of, hey, you got a ponytail, or because you have dreads, or because of this, you know, you gotta disprove your haters, you know, I mean, the whole way around. But I take that very seriously and trust, and then the grabbing of wanting everything off of somebody and everything else. But anyway, and that thing, you know, too, in parentheses, I'm the kind of guy that rather wants to make money on a particular thing, and always do want to do it to make money, to get your thing out there and get promoted, just like when I took multimedia. See, this relates to the subject a lot too, you know, too, that when they taught me in college, when I took multimedia, bear with me a little bit too, where you do your videos in particular places, you may have to ask for permission so you don't get in trouble for trespassing and all that shit, you know. Because we did hands-on, you know, music video course. And there's a thing where if you want to do something to make money, it doesn't make logical sense, because to certain people, whether it's on this online shit, begging people for money for it online, or you want to do something as a business, whether it's a fucking gym or any kind of thing you're trying to, I think of it differently. I mean, before making money, you got to fucking get yourself out there too, and maybe put your own money on the line and get somebody to, if you believe in enough, well, somebody needs a few bucks, pay or bribe somebody to take the risk and hold the camera for you. You know, I mean, they're not gonna, nobody's gonna hold a fucking camera for you for nothing. So, and there was this other thing which is also important if you're with me this long too. I told some of you guys this story too of how my shit was born, and I wouldn't have. I said that I think they just went ahead and fired me earlier anyway. I said, the minute I pay this, my girlfriend's credit card bill, well, fuck you, I'm out of here anyway, so I'm going to do this. So they knew that. It got back to them, so they, little downward dog while tying my shoe. It's exercise and you're fired. You're out. Fuck you, you're out of here. And so you're out. So my ass walks out there in a pouring rain. You know, like my first day was in a pouring. My first day going over there was in the pouring down rain and getting there soaking wet. So the same way I come in, I went out. Hey, how's that for a prophecy? In the God that I believe in that you don't, that's really I wanted to, like, even though people don't like Steven Seagal, you know, and say he's fake, his song that he made, his blues song, I love it. My God is better than your God. But anyway, that is, that was another one of my points too, that since half the place was women and I wanted to promote good things, you know, too, and I was trying to give them the idea a little bit of the time. And yeah, there was a few things that were bare knuckle in some ways that I actually endorse all over my stuff right now, that instead of bringing any trouble, you know, just to be able to smirk at your haters right while you're doing it, you know, and then to send a message like, hey, you can say whatever you want about me or to me, but what are you going to do? That I'm, you know, or yeah, like, but you know, people know this shit right off the bat, so they'll go around in their pot bellies and beards holding the cell phone and telling you how you can't pick up a pallet and say, oh, we'll have to throw you under the bus and fire you, which is, but instead of helping somebody with a fucking garbage can when people got a million things to do, and while people like me are not taking our breaks, you know, to try to get over and put the cardboard away and put the things. Instead of threatening to throw somebody under the bus, oh, help somebody with a fucking garbage can, and then all that shit, which is a hazard all over the fucking floor. Instead of the stuff that empowers me to be able to keep up with the place, call it a hazard. But in that saying, too, that, like the late George Carlin said, well, I made a modified version of George Carlin's quote. He wanted to say they want obedient workers, smart enough to run the machines and do the paperwork, but dumb enough to passively accept bullshit. But my modified version is I add to it by, if I was like Henry Rollins or George Carlin, without stealing the quote or plagiarizing it, I would, you know, I was telling a gentleman in a library, you know, a beard, too, about this, about plagiarizing back in college, because I think, and all that too, that if I was either a comedian or a comedian / talker like Henry Rollins, that, like I says, I could want to steal George Carlin's or Rollins' quote, I'd be more like the spoken word thing, leaning toward Rollins, and say, modify his and George Carlin's quote, the late George Carlin's quote is, people want obedient workers, strong and smart enough to run the machines and do the paperwork, and they want to not give you enough help. They want to mentally and physically exhaust you, but yet patronize you with some teensy little bonus that's just some check that's drawn off of some other account, and make you good and tired. So you want to go home and either smoke your pot, drink your beer, watch TV while you're living on credit, buying your SUV, and you're paying your house payments, and you got to behave this way and that way. And but I well, this is another thing too. Just since I jumped the subject, so why this is not just because half of the people were women, some friends, and I was trying to drop a hint about things, or get a few laughs, or get a few, see if I can either get dirty looks or reactions for the good or the bad, you know, and all that stuff. With half the women watching, it's a hint, you know, something that may need when times are hard. And I make my argument too. Hey, you got that one leg, especially in one hamstring, that gets real tense more than the other. That fucking goes to your back. And then I told people how people fucking during the work, say what I'm doing is hazard. During the fucking work, even though it's against the law, there are people that'll pretend to hurt their back, collect workman's comp, and you see them carrying heavy shit out there, which you see on TV. If you get caught, you can go to jail because they can get in. Your neighbor can report you if he's pissed at you or something. Or they said investigators. You know, yeah, that's against the law. But as it is, what I'm trying to make my point is, you can, the hazards of doing your fucking job are worse. But oh yeah, you know what? They want you to be some mamby-pamby, whether it's whatever you're allowed to wear in the workplace. Nothing against what people wear. I got nothing against because I got friends that dress a certain way to say the point. But I want to say this about whether it's the nerd collared shirt or the t-shirt and shorts, it's a different attitude. They want you to have this, I don't know, this mamby-pamby haircut, whether you're working at the office with, or the person out there with the t-shirt and shorts, you know, and the mamby-pamby haircut, and then skinny little arms and your t-shirt and shorts, like the childlike look. The childlike mamby-pamby look, which is the secular humanist version of the religious fanatic humbleness, where you got to humble yourself down. And then I made my case dovetailing into when I listen to Jim Quinn or even Alex Jones, when they talk about the regressive liberal and the regressive secular person, that I also say that the difference between a thing you don't hear very much, the regressive conservative, which, you know how you got the athletic Christian, like I learned as a kid in summer camp, you know. The athletic Christian, they teach you to play football, different kind of things, you know, if any of guys' churches. But then you got the regressive conservative, which you see that on YouTube now. Everything from yoga or any other kind of strength is satanic now. Go on a fast. You got these regressive, tell you, oh, you should go on a fast, or, you know, avoiding muscle development. And I've seen some of these in real life too. They're always wearing these t-shirts and shorts, these skinny arms and skinny legs, and these cargo pants and these yellow shirts with these little sleeves, like they're avoiding muscle development, and their short little hair and their crosses around their neck. They're annoying ass. I've seen them in real life. Unlike the certain other conservatives, you got these other conservatives that are very regressive. But then you get the real liberal side. They want to make everybody a victim, whether you're a woman or whatever. And then if you don't go on that size and you're strong and smart, you're some kind of criminal or something. Not even too. Not just saying something's a hazard. The first thing that came out of the woman's mouth when I was in the office, not that it was a hazard, that was the big issue, but the first thing said, well, it's weird. And then, of course, you know, the first thing gets told too, politically out there too, things hurt their feelings, or it triggers somebody. It's weird, it triggers somebody, it looks scary. Yeah, you hear all of that too, or some kind of wrong you're doing, or seeing something about your intentions. You walk around too cocky or something. Some kind of fucking... Yeah, I got a good friend of mine, a black gentleman, that's on my page about that. A guy after my own heart that... basically is a black version of me. I guess as I'd never use his name or say who he is, but yeah, a guy after my own heart that just basically his thoughts are my thoughts. I'm like, right on, man. Yeah. And in that case, and then, and that being said too, fill in the blanks for a lot of that other shit that I bullshit out there that some of us smarter people can come out with better solutions for it, you know what I mean? But damn, you know, yeah, whether it's showing off in front of some of the women, which some of them are married, they have their families or boyfriends and girlfriends and wives all work there. That's why I'll say another thing too, in that place, despite everything that happens, it's a place that I regard that I criticize nepotism, but this was a place where also I regarded as nepotism a good thing. I said it could be your ally and it could be your worst enemy depending on where you're at. I say how it's good, you know. But like I said, I'm doing stuff show off in front of some of the women, not in a bad way because I know a lot of them, or I knew their boyfriends or husbands that worked there, and so. There was, like I says, I get shit that if it's any fucking consolation, like 5-star rating as far as hired the most women, and dovetailing what I was just saying about that, you know, a little bit of humor, a little bit, and show off in front of women in a certain way, and I joked with a guy over there, yeah, on my way to impressing the Dallas Cowboys cheerleaders, trying to make something that's for everybody. And if any of you got this far to pay attention to, and this is a good thing, hey, you don't got to worry about your girlfriends or wives. If some terrorists try to pull some shit, you know, I'll kick their face into outer space, you know what I mean? Yeah, and yes, too, if we've gotten this far, I mean, it's not over there, too. Ever since, though, too, because since I reinvented myself and do this all the time, it's actually given me the ideas too, because there's more to be done instead of the same old shit that's out there, whether it's online or in the world, that people are selling out there. So this whole deal, you know, not just for spite, it's for good reasons too. I got the idea to, everywhere I go on assignments, because my things are at will assignments and jobs at different, I call it an adventure. I create my trophy videos, which from different places, which kind of makes it fun and interesting. And this is a thing where I want to explain too, big explanation too with this. One particular place that I've worked at after I was done with you guys' place, they gave you a fucking hour lunch, you know, in this place that used to be a, place that was manufactured packaged milk, but now it does bottled water, which they say is spring water, but it's not really spring water. Nothing against it, you know, not to degrade them any kind of way or trash them any kind of way. Water is good, you know. Nothing wrong with selling water, you know, purification. But a fucking hour lunch break is too long. That's just another fucking reason why I try to say the shit that I do. Even if it's outside of the workplace property, you know, and you had other people, they want to smoke or vape or whatever, which is a big issue now too. That shit is killing people. But anyway, off that subject, fucking hour is too long, so I had to give myself something to do. So there you go. That's another justification. And this is what I wanted to say in the beginning of the video too. One of the things, major things, this was born from. Aside from, you know, what I had to do, whether it got myself fired or not, I had to do this because of the many women that are there. Like I said, this has practical reasons. You dudes watching this, maybe you won't have to worry about your wives being attacked by terrorists, you know. Do something too, you know. A hidden ability too. But a major thing that way before I even knew any of you guys, which was one story I think I told a couple of you guys where I was on an assignment somewhere, right? And this was, you know how you go to Best Buy or any kind of place or any kind of store, you order your appliances. I say I want this stove or this refrigerator, right? Whether it's Best Buy or whether it's, you name the place. Well, this one was Best Buy, but it's not the store Best Buy. Okay, you order a appliance at a Best Buy, right? You don't get it from there when it's delivered. It's actually at a warehouse. Where my assignments for a while on and off was at this warehouse, but it was never 8 hours. You get the you get the truck unloaded. It may take a fucking hour to get the truck unloaded, maybe an hour and a half if you mosey to trying to get an hour. But then after that, it's like, all right, that's it. They mark it off. You can go. And like I told people this before, this is a major point what I'm getting at. If it was not for the fact that I had to wait for the truck to come, and if the truck came like the way it was supposed to, you know what I mean, when I was there, say if the truck was there, I get only a fucking hour of work, but literally I had to wait 2, 3, 4, half a day for the fucking truck to come in and got that damn thing unloaded in a damn hour. You know, if it descended on the sides of the truck, I was a little bit of a person where I see these other people come and go along with me. Like it's a big task to get certain shit out of the truck. I had better ways of doing it, you know. But this was the thing too, one of the major points. I'm over there waiting for the truck to come. They don't care what you do. They just didn't want you leaving the premises. So, you know, they don't want where they can't find you when the truck finally comes. Well, sometimes they had me, well, go and police the area around there, pick up the cigarette butts and different things like that. And I know it ain't going to take that long, but you can just do whatever you want, just as long as you're here the truck comes. So I'm fucking bored as shit. This was one of my major points. So, a big floor. What am I going to do? Do like everybody else, smoke their cigarettes, which some people, that's another thing, people try to believe that cult-like mantra, you know, when they don't like you, you know, I mean, you're on crack, or say you do drugs or smoke or drink, or not that drinking is wrong if you do it responsibly, or smoke cigarettes, that's not the point. My point is I couldn't fucking afford that shit anyway, so everybody else is smoking and doing stupid shit. I had a big fucking floor doing whatever, and in a way, I seen that there were cameras there, so just to be cute, you know, bare knuckle walk and all the kind of things that I think we have a right to be able to do, and hey, the camera's seeing it. And at the same time, you got a problem with me. It's an innuendo. You got a problem with me. I know you're going to speak to me the right way, you know, and if not, I'm not intimidating you, and I don't give a rat's ass about you if you want to talk down to me, trying to show that I'm not just some obedient mamby-pamby worker that's got to go home, watch TV, and go and whether it's whatever you do and be in fear that you have to have your SUV, your house payment, and just like I said, people want obedient workers. Just, you know, for that they want to run you into the ground and make you good and tired, you know, mentally and physically, you know, and you know, even if you want the fucking Planet Fitness, you know, they'd rather to have that really, you know, you want you to be physically and mentally tired, so you're a mamby-pamby walking around. But that's another thing too. There was some times where instead of like a place like yours not given ample help and expecting to do all this, run you into the ground, there were times where they had assignments who are waiting for a fucking truck to come, or a fucking long-ass lunch break, an hour lunch break you don't fucking need, so you got to entertain yourself somehow. And you might as well better yourself instead of smoking fucking cigarettes and then drinking all. Nothing against, I have friends that smoke, no offense, but I also had issues that were family talk too, you know, about back when I was sharing the costs over there, which you should do if you're the parents' house, if you're old enough to pay part of the bills and do things, and don't be some asshole that wants to take everything your parents have not put in. Where I had the dysfunction in my family where, oh, I'm putting in my thing and it's not good enough, but I'm not fucking doing it, so you're going to talk down to me and you're going to take your money for buy 5 cartons of cigarettes, go across the border to West Virginia because it's cheaper to avoid tax, and buy fucking 5 cartons of cigarettes and then bitch that, oh yeah, you got to put in your part of the money to the bills, you know. Yeah, if you're, there's a thing too, I'm an asshole, but if you have a family that's functional, do what you should do, what's fucking right both sides. And I'm not going to drag anybody down just because my family is dysfunctional. I want to tell you something good too, so there you go. There's a hypocrisy about the smoking, that's why I don't fucking do it. I never did it. The last time I quit since I was 17, trying to imitate Guns N' Roses with bandana and sunglasses. Then when I got my first job and had my first lease, I didn't get on no drugs or no big drinking or smoking because all I can think about is paying the rent late so I can, like Jeff Foxworthy said in that fucking old video, you know, about the first apartment that I loved. That was a guy after my first part, after my heart, because that was me, the first apartment. You hardly have shit, coffee tables for, milk crates for coffee tables and that hand-me-down couch, but yet you got that $1,000 stereo. Yeah, you start out, you know, you barely eating, but you got some good tunes, you know, while everybody else is sharing apartments and being roommates so they can get money together to buy a bag of weed or buy a, which is nothing against drinking beer and football and having cookouts and beer, you know, like some of you guys do, you know. But there's this other culture out there that ruined people related to me there too, which you can accuse me of that all you want to, but I'll disprove the fuck out of you right off the bat, you know, with a smirk on my face, you know what I mean? But people I knew, you know, family members of people I knew died of the shit, so I want to send a message to you that way too, you know. But anyway, what I want to make a point is, you know, yeah, some stuff I do is born out of spite or a little bit out of humor, but at the same time, places I've been were waiting for a truck to come and you're fucking bored as hell, or sometimes when you're unemployed where everybody else is watching TV and collecting unemployment and drinking, I got in brainstorms and other things to do, you know. Trying to give you a basic idea of what some stuff was born of or whatever too, you know. But you know, there was, like I said too, that what made that place unique, what your place is unique is, I don't know, it's part of me couldn't resist, you know, too, to get reactions. Half the place is women, and I'm just sending a message and doing this and haha, you know, kind of a way to see what positive or negative or laughing reaction, like one way or another, you know. I think, you know, that is an important thing, worth getting fired for and creating controversy for, so to speak, because, you know, there's a message I sort of wanted to say, you know, however people take it is up to them, but which one of the things was the bottom line too, which was the most wonderful thing too, the idea that seeing so many women actually picking up heavy objects, you know, on a board and heavy glasses, that really was wonderful and appealed to me. So very but yeah, you could, this is how you can hate a place but yet still be raving about a particular thing and giving it 5 stars, you know. That's you know, if it's any fucking consolation to the haters.
Und das Streben bis zum Tod.